Okay, today we're going to talk about electrofusion and talk about a few of these components here that we have in front of us. The first thing is our electrofusion machine here. This happens to be a Central Plastics machine. Also, we've got this vise here to hold the pipe, 2 clamps. It's adjustable depending upon the size of pipe that you'll be using. Today we're going to be doing 2-inch. And again, we got our polyethylene PE 3408 high density plastic pipe. We've also got then our fitting. This happens to be a 2-inch coupling. Again, this is from Central Plastics, so that when we plug the machine into the fitting, it's going to read this fitting directly. If you had another brand of fitting, there's also a barcode on here, or another machine from another manufacturer. You can read the fitting, and then it will set the heat times accordingly, and we'll show you that here shortly. First thing we need to do with our pipe, we need to make sure it's clean, first of all, so we're going to wipe that. Next, we're going to use a scraper tool here on the end. I'm going to take and just gently hold that and roll it around. A few passes. Again, we want it about the width that's going to enter into the coupling, into our fitting. Again, once I get that, I will re-wipe that with a cotton rag. Do not use paper towel, because the paper towel, after we've scraped that, you can tear pieces of it off and contaminate your fitting here, your pipe. So we got the one end done. Now we'll do the second end here on our other piece of pipe. Okay, we'll wipe that now. Now we're ready to put our fitting and our pipe together. They do slip over one another, different from socket fusion where there's an interference fit. Inside the fitting, there is a little stop, a nub that is set up so that you always must go all the way to the center of this fitting on both ends of your pipe where it enters into it. Now, if you're doing a repair connection, which a lot of times when you're doing electrofusion you're going to be doing, you'll have to knock out that nub so that you can push the coupling all the way on and then pull it back onto your other piece of pipe, and I will demonstrate that here coming up. But first of all, we're going to make a weld. So I'm going to go ahead and push this on. I stopped at the nub. I will now push this side on. As you can see, I did it real easy. I'll now place it into the 2 clamps with my electrode connections pointing up. Just snug it down. It doesn't have to be real tight, just to keep it into place. This assures, again, that we've got alignment into the fitting. My machine is already turned on. I have my 2 electrode probes here. Inside the fitting here, there is one with a red dot on it. It is critical that we plug these in the proper port, if you will, the proper section of this fitting. So my red one here is on my right, and I'll push the white one in on the opposite end. Once I have done that, I will hit valid. It's in the Central Plastics mode. We're using, again, a Central Plastics fitting as well as our machine here. It now asks me if I have scraped and cleaned the pipe, which I have, so I can hit valid. It now pulls up the cycle time as well as the voltage necessary for this particular fitting. It's asking me to validate that. I will go ahead and validate that. It is now heating this fitting. This machine also gives you the ambient temperature. It's just now finished the process. It does tell us on the screen here that we've got a 10-minute cooling time. We can remove the electrodes though at this point. So I will go ahead and remove those. Again, gently putting them off to the side. Now again, if we, in this process, if we had not had a central plastics fitting, we've got this barcode here. If we had another manufacturer's fitting, we could put it in the barcode reading mode, and I will go ahead and pull out this barcode reader. Oops, there we go. And we can actually read the barcode here. We can go ahead and pull this out of the clamps after our 10 minutes. This is now fused together. Here's our cutaway again of our electro fusion coupling here with our two pieces of pipe that were joined together. As you can see, the copper windings in the fitting here. As that heats up, how this works, it actually melts the plastic and it rolls out here towards the center, where then it starts to cool, and that's where it actually joins the two together. If the pipe is not fully put in, if it's back here further, all what will happen is it'll just keep melting that plastic and roll it inside the pipe. So it's very critical, again, as we've mentioned, that this pipe be inserted to the center from both ends. Okay, I want to show you, again, typically if we're doing a repair out in the field where we need to better slip this coupling completely over the pipe and then pull it back on an existing piece of pipe, maybe where we've had something cut our line out in the field here, how we're going to do that. First thing we need to do is mark our pipe that halfway into the fitting, because we do not, it's very critical in this process that this pipe always goes to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and push it onto the nubs and then mark it. Right there, we're bottomed out against the nubs. I will take a marker and make a mark so that once I knock out those nubs, I will be able to return to that spot. So now at this point, in order to knock it out, one of the easiest ways to do it is just to put a piece of pipe into the fitting and just pound it on the table. Now the nubs have been removed. We'll better slip this over. I've got my mark on my piece of pipe. I will now slide my fitting on. You see now I can go past my pipe. I can now pull this back. To my mark, and now push my other piece of pipe in till it hits my piece of pipe, and now they are both in the proper location. So that's how we would make that repair out in the field.